Hi, my name is Emma Bumbar, and I am here to tell you about my client named Chris Cash, who is a fashion designer and artist. And I am working on his campaign for him, which could be called Control the Chaos. Um, so, what he calls his brand is Same Never Sleeps, and he's located in Soho, which is in Manhattan, which is one of the largest fashion capitals in the world. Chris says that his purpose for his brand is creating clothes and art to entertain and redefine fashion. Also, he says his mission statement is redesigning the future through fashion and art. So, as you can tell, Chris is very focused on creating something very original within the fashion and art industries that people haven't seen before, which can be very difficult to do at this point in time. The reputation of Chris Cash's brand is considered to be kind of more underground than it is well known, but with the people who do know it, it is considered to be high end among New York's elite. So, the cool thing about his art is that the people that know it perceive it as wearing art, which is very cool. And normally, fashion is considered to be art, but the thing that sets Chris Cash apart is that he literally has painted and spray painted and sewed different objects onto his fashion, and with his paintings it's very different. He mixes photography and paint into one, and it's something that a lot of people haven't seen before, which is very, very cool. Those who appreciate art will greatly appreciate his work, and those who don't appreciate art will find it interesting, so it'll at least catch their attention. Some obstacles that Chris has to face include a competition on price. Within the fashion and art industries, you always want to have the lowest price but also make the highest revenue. And Chris, I think, has found a decent middle ground for that, as he keeps his prices pretty low. You can buy a custom hand painted jacket for $100, whereas if you were trying to buy the same jacket from Gucci, for example, it could be thousands of dollars. So people will hopefully go towards more Chris's product. Also, the competition on awareness, as he's just a small company of fashion and art in New York City. Obviously, he's surrounded by big names in the industries, and so he has to find a way to put himself out there more so as if he was on the same level as Versace, Gucci, Louis Vuitton, these big brand names. Also, there's a huge flooded market, and it's difficult to innovate. If he thinks that he has made something that is different and original, it could have already been created. Especially in New York City, you think that you have made something that no one else has seen, but sometimes it happens to be that someone else has already made it before. He also has to make sure that he markets the product to the core customer and make sure that he's doing what no one else is doing. So he has to make sure he researches deeply and make sure that no one else is trying to do what he's doing, and that he needs to make it stand out to the right customer. Also, he has to try to develop a repeating clientele, so he wants to get into the correct stores. In the near future, he is getting put into Barney's department store, which could either be really good for him or really bad. If people really enjoy his product, they'll buy it, and his name will spread, and it could really blow up. Or people cannot enjoy his product, and it'll flop, and he will not make any money off of it, and he'll just end up losing money. The strengths of the Same Never Sleeps brand name is that it's a new, innovative product. For the most part, as you can see in this photo, you don't really see a lot of fashion that looks like this that people will actually buy and wear for a cheap price. Normally, you'll see this kind of thing on the runway, and people always say, "Oh, why would you ever wear that?" But luckily, his product is pretty cheap, and people will be inclined to buy it. Also, the fact that he's located in Soho is huge, because it is honestly a mecca of fashion in New York City, and people really, really enjoy to see something new and something that is considered to be original and artistic. His product is considered to be rare and highly valued with those who know, and those who do know are able to spread the word through their own fashion and their own art choices, which is pretty cool. So Chris has a few weaknesses. On the left side of the screen, that is a marketing strategy, and it's a website called Depop, and it is a fashion trading website where you can put up whatever you're trying to sell and you can buy it off of that app, which is very cool. But you can see he has quite a few followers, 57,000 followers, and he is rated 4.5 stars, which is a pretty good rating. And then on the right side is his newly adopted Instagram. He only has 55 followers, and his Instagram is more geared towards his art rather than his fashion. And so the only problem is that he does not have a Facebook or a Snapchat, and I think he could benefit greatly from both of those if he's trying to get his name out more greatly into the population of the fashion industries and the art industries. Also, there's a direct influence on the economy within this. He has a small employment. He probably has about 15 people working for him, so he has a lot of room to grow. And in that field, it's very competitive, and I think he needs a lot more people on his side and a bigger social media pool in order to pull more people into buying his product and being more interested into it. Opportunities, I think some very good opportunities that you could do. If he got a Snapchat, he would be able to report live feeds of probably making the products, selling the products, putting up street art, doing whatever it is he needs to do to promote himself. I think Snapchat would greatly benefit with that. Also, Facebook would be a more mainstream social media channel in order to reach more people and get his name out further. A huge opportunity is that he's going into Barney's. I do think it'll benefit him greatly if people start to go in there and they get their eye caught by this amazing art. And I think they'll really enjoy that the prices are low. I also think if he could be able to get his work published in magazines, fashion magazines, art magazines, people will really try to catch on to it because people are starting to stray away from the norm and really try to branch out a little bit, and he's definitely more geared more towards those kind of people. Also, if he could collaborate with other artists. I'm lucky enough, I think I'm going to start collaborating with him with fashion. If he could collaborate with bigger names like Versace, Gucci, really anything, I think that could benefit him greatly. I think if he gets his name on those big name brands, it can really open doors for him. There are some threats. Obviously, there are other competitors within the fashion industry. And regardless of who's in the industry, fashion is very tough to excel in. And there's other designers and people that are trying to, make it in the industry. And everyone thinks they have that one thing that's different from the other person that'll make them stand out. But sometimes it doesn't end up that way. Also, the price war. I think he has found the perfect price for his things, and maybe if he gets more successful, he can up the price a little bit, but it's definitely a threat. If someone sees something similar for less money, they'll buy that over his product. Also, within the channels of distribution, the technology that he has is very slow right now. The social media could definitely be focused on more, and I think he could really benefit from more social media. Also, street style, which is very highly valued in New York City. If more people wear his clothing and more people are putting his art up onto their stores with windows that everyone can see, I think that'll greatly benefit him. More people see it and more people will be asking about it, and people will look it up, and then from there on out he could very lift off and benefit from it. Also, socioeconomic side of this is that he has to cater to the correct culture and really tune into the consumer behavior. Obviously, for example, this jacket is something that someone in their like mid-age would probably wear. No one probably above the age of 30 would wear this unless they're a celebrity and really trying to stand out. And so I think that if he needs to make sure that he caters to the correct culture, and he needs to see how people react when they wear his things and see his art. He needs to make sure that he really caters to what these people want and makes note about what they want to see next. His target audience would be considered, I would say, people involved heavily in the fashion and art industry, also the range of probably 18 to 35, men and women. As you can see in this photo, this woman is probably in her mid-20s, and I think that he's really catering to people that have a unique fashion sense and really want to put themselves out there and make a name for themselves, and I think his brand really ups that. Potential messages I think that he could do. I think a theme that would greatly benefit him is redesigning the future through fashion and art as his mission statement. I think that if he really does redesign the future, he can really lift off and show people that you can always be creative through your art and really catch people's eyes, even if it's something very simple. The fact that he is so unique with his art, it shows ambition, drive, and it shows that he has high goals to get where he wants to be. By showcasing his genuine self-worth and confidence, people respect him and his brand more than if he was just to put himself out there. He's really pushing himself. I think a really good idea for Chris is to make hashtags. I think hashtag Chris Cash, hashtag Controlled Chaos, hashtag One of One would be huge. Chris specializes in making one-of-one pieces and customizing pieces, and that's something that no one else really is able to do. So I think if he really focuses on making his brand stick out and really makes more social media channels, I think that it can greatly benefit him in the long run and increase his success within the fashion and art industries. And that's it. Thank you.